hello, and welcome back to the only live Monday through Friday lacrosse talk show on the planets. You are tuned in to Daily Dive. It is Friday, the third. I just realized that Friday, December the 13th, 2024. I am your host, Michael Carvelis, in Guyton, Georgia. Producer Joe is behind the scenes in Banditland, New York. We are live on 12 on Sports via YouTube and X. Subscribe to the 12 on Sports channel for other great shows in live sports. It's season 3, baby! And we're still rocking and rolling as week 3 of the NLL season gets going. Alrighty, on today's awesome show, your regular scheduled programming of Pick'em. But that's not what you're here for. First, we're going to have Adam Levy. Then we're going to have Pat Gregoire, a.k.a. Professor Adam and Poutine Pat. You know the deal. We're going to talk all things week 3, betting, hype, etc. First, we want to let you know that this awesome show is presented by tickets.12onsports.com. That's tickets.numbers12lettersOZsports.com. Get your National Lacrosse League tickets for less by going to that website. They include every sport and all your favorite artists' concerts, not to mention Broadway and theater. Tickets.12onsports.com. We want to now introduce the following person. Please give a major shout out to our good friend, Adam Levy. Shout out, Professor Adam. How are you, sir?
I'm great, Mike. How are you? Thank you for having me on yet again. But I won't keep us too long because I know Poutine Pat is waiting in the ranks to join us and to have his segment. So let's get right after it.
Yeah, we saved the best for last, but he did say he was first today, so that's
I can totally get behind that.
Hunter Smith is back again. Love that. This guy, I don't know if you called him, he's awesome. By the way, I do want to mention to you before we even get started with our games that it is awesome. Oh, I know Panther City folded, but Adam, all 14 teams, like even number of teams means 7 games. Every team plays this weekend. That's awesome, right?
Oh, it's incredible. I think that, it's going to happen a few times this season where every team is playing, whether that's spread out on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, or the majority of games on Friday or Saturday, or hopefully, I haven't looked at the schedule recently, but could you imagine all 7 games on a Saturday? That would be incredible. But yeah, it's going to be an awesome weekend. Cancel all your plans.
Woo! Love it. All right, I was going to go to work. Who cares? So we're going to get into 3 games with you, sir. Let's get to first one. I know you're a Vancouver boy, tried and true. They got Rochester coming to town, and I did check the tickets platform for 12 on Sports, and then the team announced it where they're going to have 10,000 plus fans. That's awesome in Vancouver. Yep. Coming into Vancouver are those offensively potent Rochester Nighthawks. As a closet Vancouver fan, hype this game up for the viewers.
Well, I always have a soft spot in my heart for Vancouver and the Vancouver Warriors, as I believe I've mentioned on this program before. I do think, and this is not my bias talking, that Vancouver does pull out the win. I think that right now they are hungry, especially after that disappointing Week 1 loss against the Colorado Mammoth, where they were up 6-1 and then ended up losing 11-7. Having spoken to Kurt Malosky, and that article is out on Inside Lacrosse about his feelings and the team's feelings about that loss. They're not going to let that happen again. They're going to make some changes, make that happen. It's interesting. We've talked about Peyton Cormier, but Jonathan Peshko and other rookies on that Warriors team. It's going to be amazing to see their continued development. Alex Stotkis at the Face-Off X. You've been talking and hyping up Jake Naso, but obviously you've got another young face-off guy in Alex Stotkis who's trying to prove himself. Rochester, that offense is unbelievable. Obviously, you got to love what you're seeing out of Ryan Smith, Connor Fields, Ryan Lanchbury, and others. It's going to be an interesting, hard-fought battle, but I do think Vancouver takes this. Unfortunately, as I've also reported, Ryan Hartley not going to be in net due to that lower body injury, so that's unfortunate for the Nighthawks.
I'm just glad it's lower and not upper. I know it sounds like a moral victory there, but I'm okay with that one.
Yeah, I guess if you're a goalie, having a lower body injury is quite the nagging one.
Yeah, it's better than the concussion though. So that's at
That's
least good.
true.
We clarified that.
And the team has definitely confirmed that none of this is concussion related.
Love it. I gotta ask you about Vancouver real quick. Because in the Colorado game, I heard some speculation around the media circles that Owen Grant scoring 3 goals was not a great thing if he's your leading scorer. And I do agree that if he's your leading scorer, but to me it's a bright spot. That dude is like, I'm a great defender and I can drop a hat trick, no big deal.
Yeah, I mean, when I spoke to Coach Malosky, he emphasized that Owen was by far the best player on the floor for the Warriors in their Week 1 loss. But yeah, they have those weapons. Cormier, I mentioned, Peshko. Obviously, I see Pat Gregoire in the comments there, early transition player of the year. I actually think I spoke to Steven Stamp about this on our newest show, Inside the World of Box Lacrosse on Blue Squatch Media, which you can check out, that Owen Grant is clearly the favorite at this point based on the performance he had in Week 1. He was phenomenal. But yeah, you got to see Keegan Ball, Adam Charlambides, who had such a rise last year into the kind of that conversation of star players, at least team leaders, I should say. So you'll want to see more from them. But if Owen Grant is putting in a couple goals or even a goal, and then those guys are stacking up goals, then you got to watch out because those Warriors mean business.
Can't wait. All right, we're going to transition now to the game that I guess I can say publicly that you're going to be there because people are going to see you anyways. Big Wings show. I love Brandon O'Neill. Everyone knows that. But, boy, these hungry dogs, these hungry desert dogs are 0-2 and need an early season win. Thankfully for the Wings, though, not only have they added Michael Sowers, who's not going to play this weekend, but Mitch Jones just had a birthday. So is that enough to push the Wings over the top in this game?
Well, the birthday, maybe not, but I know that Mitch's family, a lot of his family, I believe his brother, mom, dad, are going to be in attendance for this game. So will the family in attendance push him over the edge? He had a great game. I think it was I don't know what his stats were in Week 2, but I know, or in the second game, but in Week 1 against San Diego, he was very solid. And so, Mitch Jones is just being Mitch Jones again, which is awesome. I can't wait, and I know just as easily want to see more from him. That one goal that he had really showed a lot. I know you emphasized that on the show. Yeah, the Desert Dogs are hungry. I spoke with Jack Hanna for my podcast, the Lacrosse Matrix podcast, earlier this week. It was an amazing conversation. And so go check that out on Spotify or Lacrosse Culture Daily. You can find it there as well. And yeah, they're hungry. The connection between Jonathan Donville and Jack Hanna's finishing ability is unreal right now. His 8 goals, all of them seem totally different, and it's just unreal. So I love what they're doing. Gotta again see though more out of the other offensive guys on the Desert Dogs. Casey Jackson and Jack Hanna really coming together to provide the majority of the offense on that team. So other guys getting more opportunities. Jonathan Donville, though, having a lot of assists to those guys. And then, I'd love to see a better defensive effort because you look at Landon Kells in net, the amount of saves he's making, and he's done this throughout his time in Las Vegas. But, it's almost like I also, again, believe I had talked about this with Stamper on the show, which was, are we getting into a situation where Landon Kells is like what Zach Higgins was in Philadelphia, where he's going to face so many shots and he's going to be so good, but because he's facing an inordinate amount of shots, like just an extraordinary total, more goals are just going to naturally go in. And you'd hate to see that for a great young goaltender, but he is still very young. And I'm just curious about what's going to happen with the Desert Dogs this season because I've tried to hype them up. I do think the Wings do take this in their home opener, though.
Agreed. Christian Del Bianco, me and him were like going back and forth about shots on goal. God, Las Vegas and Rochester sure they're shooting my opinion in the foot with that one. I'm telling you what. Just like I'm like they don't matter.
They definitely
like Las Vegas like this they do. So.
And actually, and this just quickly gives me time to give a shout out to Riley Hutchcraft of the Nighthawks because he has faced a ton of shots over the last 2 years and really stepped into a very difficult role with Hartley out. And I know that Coach Hazen has been very impressed with the effort that he put forth. And let's not forget, he only gave up 7 goals through 3 quarters against the Buffalo Bandits until a bit of a shaky fourth quarter. So hopefully he can have another great game and have it for 60 minutes.
Love it. Third and final game here. We've got feels like the game of the week. Bandits at Black Bears. Why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah, it's going to be a great one. First of all, 2 homecomings for Kyle Buchanan and Cam Wires, 2 Ottawa natives. So very exciting for them to be going back home. I think it's incredible. Sorry, I just got a notification I think my eldest son sent us a video about raccoons. So, so it's it's going to be a great game. Great for them to come home. Obviously, you mentioned the boost for Mitch Jones potentially on his birthday. Do these homecoming guys have their big games? Kyle Buchanan 3 goals in the last game, so
easy 3 too.
Also, big shout out to Chris Cloutier, who I don't think got enough love for his performance. 2 goals and 10 loose balls for him, plus a caused turnover. Really impressive what he did in that first game and the way they were able to spread that offense. And then, of course, how can we not mention Matt Vince, who, I mean, I think everyone wants to know what his secret is, how he is defying Father Time and really continuing to excel. I did put out a tweet, as you can see, my Twitter there, Adam Levy, LAX, where, if you are expecting Matt Vince to get a lot better, well, that might be a little bit difficult because he's only had 55-plus saves in 3 other occasions in his extended career. So I'm not sure how many more 54-plus saves games he's going to have. But if he can at least be incredible or somewhat incredible like he was in that first game, I think the Bandits are going to continue to storm through.
So, Hunter Smith said Ottawa all the way in there. Zach Higgins is going to hold it down.
And I let me just say, I think Hunter is definitely did you say that he was retiring 3 seasons ago, or did I say that?
Well, it's been speculated that Vince was, going to retire.
Of course, speculative, but I mean, he is clearly on another level. But yeah, I think in terms of Hunter's point, we want to see Jeff Teat continue to do really well, and I had Zach Higgins as my goaltender of the year choice for our Inside Lacrosse preseason rankings. So I hope he continues to do very well. Obviously, you want Ottawa in this new market to have a really strong start. That would be great for the franchise, great for the city. So it would be very exciting if Ottawa wins. I think it's going to be a very competitive game. I think Ottawa really has a lot behind them right now, a lot of talent, a lot of the same guys, which is really important. And so I think it's going to be a great game. As you said, potentially the game of the week.
There's a couple miscellaneous things to get to here. First of all, Preston's picks. And by the way, folks, we got to watch the videos of these things too. I know it's not fair, but if you want to give them, you can. If not, we'll tell people to watch the video.
Yeah, videos are great. I love doing them with my wife. It was hard to get Preston away from our cat to do the picks this week. He's really loving our 2 cats. So it's amazing. Our dog Lucy tried to steal his M&Ms, so had to scold her a little bit. But you had the whole family in this one. So yeah, definitely go check it out. It's amazing if you've been following Preston's picks, seeing his growth and development, now adding some language into these videos, which is super cool. I can run through his picks for you, Mike, if you'd like.
No, it's up to you. If you want to keep the viewers asking on the video, we can do that. It's up to you.
Oh, yeah. You know what? That's a good point. I was almost going to ruin my own marketing pitch. Yeah, go see the video. I'm not going to tell you what his picks are.
Yeah, it's Preston's picks. Okay. Now, we have a surprise for the viewers and for you and Poutine Pat. So, Pat Gregoire, I'm just going to put you on here just so he knows that he's coming. There he is. Hi, Pat.
Hey, Pat.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Blue Jays? What are we doing?
It's funny. I was talking to Pat. I texted him a few hours ago, and I had no idea this was going to happen. So what a treat.
This is quite the surprise. I'm very surprised. And yes, it's a Blue Jays hat. It's green, though. It's
I got
more
it.
of a fashion
What great hat
statement,
am I
buddy.
behind, Producer Joe?
I do have to, Mike, before you've got that, I do want to ask you, Pat, I saw Hutton Jackson put out the longest odds for teams recently, and obviously with your work with CoolBet, you had the Mammoth at plus 2,000 and the Rush at plus 2,000. That seems like a crazy number for me, the way they're playing.
I think the way that you're seeing Colorado play, especially Rochester for sure too, a little bit of a scary result for them offensively. But when you look at Colorado, man, I think this is very similar to what we saw with them a couple of seasons ago. Like last year, I think was an anomaly. The thing that we're seeing out of Colorado that we haven't even seen in those 2 years is a hot start. They're a team that in the 2 previous years where they made it to the finals and then won the finals, it was a slow start and then got hot in the playoffs. They realize they cannot take this regular season lightly, and they've hit the ground running, man. I think that would be a great wager at 21, because if you continue on for a couple weeks, that price ain't going to be there anymore.
And did you know that the last time that they lost to San Diego in December was the year they won the championship? So maybe Mammoth fans want them to lose.
Yeah, maybe we might see them throw the game here to let history repeat itself.
Oh, jeez. This guy, Adam's a nerd, obviously. He likes betting, we just found out.
Oh, biggest nerd.
Gambler, too.
Big nerd guy.
All right, so producer Joe got himself a late birthday present. And it's a prize for you guys, too. But I got to do a drum roll here, and hopefully he'll stand up soon. And he can add himself to the stage whenever he needs to, just so I know he's ready. But
I'm really nervous. Oh my God!
Nice pants. Nice
Shot.
gang signs.
Okay.
Oh God! Take off your clothes, man. Yeah, I'm doing the drum roll. You're the one muted.
I'm terrified. Oh my!
Oh
God.
my Lord! That is devotion.
Is that real?
It is real.
That's not a licking stick. That's the real deal. Oh my goodness.
It was bleeding. I watched it bleed on FaceTime.
Wow.
Wow, that's dedication. If you don't think that guy is committed to the brand, think again.
Oh, jeez.
So, Mike, the question now is, when are you getting yours?
Yes.
I was gonna get his face tatted right here, and then then we're gonna go crazy, you know. I'm kidding.
Hey, I will say this: who was? Is it Calgary? I think you said Calgary was going to finish dead last, Mike. I say if Calgary wins the championship, you got to get a tattoo.
Hell
you got to get
yes.
daily tattoo.
Oh well, I would have to get one of Albany right beside it, because I said they were going to win 3 games last year.
Oh, that's too good.
Adam, I will let you go, sir. Now, and Pat, you're going to go
Thanks,
on
guys.
a commercial break. But Adam, thank you for joining us, and we will see you next Friday. Happy 13th, by the way. Happy Friday the 13th.
Is that something we should be celebrating? But happy weekend
it's demonic
as well,
yeah,
Mike. Yeah, I'm very excited to be here next Friday. It's going to be a great weekend of lacrosse. I can't wait. Going to really enjoy my time in Philly. So I'll tell you all about what it's like to see Brendan O'Neill up close and personal.
Yes, and thanks for your time again, Adam.
Of course.
Adam Levy's awesome, but you knew that. All right, so when we got a lot of comments, by the way, I hope you guys are tuning in. I can't show them all sometimes, but yeah. When we come back to this awesome show on Poutine, Pat will get a water break, and he'll be back to talk about betting this show. So we'll be right back.
Don't go anywhere. Daily Dive will be right back.
Need tickets to that next event? Well, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got them with soccer anywhere in the world. Tickets to any venue, any sport. Want to go to NCAA or NFL football matches? We've got them.
Yeah.
Baseball at every level. Every Power 5 matchup is available. Don't forget, costumes and paint are optional. What's that? You want to go to Broadway? We have those too. Want to jam out? Every concert, every artist. That's right, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got the tickets for less. 12ozsports.com/tickets. That's 12ouncesports.com/tickets.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money. And we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
America, get back on track with Dust Pod's Performance Stabilizer. When applied to roadways, it kills dust and strengthens the integrity of the road. Easily applied by mixing with water, Dust Pods is the future in polymer stabilization. Call 1-833-DUST-PODS or visit dustpods.com today.
Daily Dive is back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Thundercrack producer. Poutine Pats is back. That was almost a mistake.
It was close. Hey, it's all right. It's Friday. We're off the rails here. We saw a tattoo unveiling. You called Levi a nerd. It's Friday the 13th. It's supposed to be wacky, crazy stuff going on, right?
Demonic, right? You know? Thanks so much for joining us once again, by the way.
Of course.
And we got a big week. Like I was telling Adam, we've got 14 games, which is awesome. And by the way, in addition to everyone knows that Daily Dive is on Spotify now too. OTCB podcast is also that's where I listen to. It is on Spotify. Do you guys ever do video or no?
We don't. We might dip our toes in the video, but right now just audio.
Well, don't show your toes on the video because that would be like one
Yeah.
producer.
No, you actually have to. You have to pay for that subscription for OTCB.
Oh, I'm not going to ask where that's at, but I won't take your word for it. All righty. Halifax at Saskatchewan. We're going to start with the last game first here.
Sure.
Frank Scigliano, the big Shigs, slammed the door on Albany in the Firewolves' den. Are you expecting an encore performance?
Part of me thinks that this Saskatchewan defense, I can see it from my own two eyes. They are one of the most electrifying defenses. They're fast. They get out to, get out on hands, taking away time and space. They certainly are a team that I think has helped Frank Scigliano this year as well in that one game. But yeah, no doubt, Frank Scigliano was great. He was outstanding. But I lead to believe that this is an over game. And even if Frank Scigliano has a solid game, from what I saw last week with Halifax, Mike, I can't in my own power bet on an under. With the way that offense looked, scoring 17 goals, they still lost the game and gave up 18. The defense looks out of sorts. Warren Hill does not look great. So for me, going forward until further notice, the Halifax Thunderbirds are an over team, and I will be taking the over in those games.
You did call that game. That was a very fun one to call, including your call on This Is Disgusting with like Curtis Dixon doing a little back here sweeping, you know?
The old Beyonda is what Jake Elliott has coined it. The legendary Jack Beyonda. That was one of his moves back in the day. Hall of Famer, which is actually ironic. Said it on the broadcast. His grandson, Jason Knox, plays for Halifax. So funny how that works out.
Jason Knox had played well. This is another luxury piece to have.
Yeah, he looked really good. That's also why I like this over. I really like this over. And Saskatchewan's offense can score as well. So.
I agree. So I would be remiss if I didn't mention the Cody Jamieson thing that kind of broke a little bit ago. I'm not asking if you're hearing anything, but how much does that play into you as a betting angle? I don't think he's on the floor a lot, but I don't know if did he have a lot of points last week?
He just, he just had 2 points, and first and
Okay,
foremost, I'm sending my thoughts with Cody Jameson and his family. Don't know too much
right.
information, but at this point, I think it's best to just send all the positive vibes to them, and hopefully whatever is going on with them gets under control. And we're just hoping that everything is okay. And when he's ready to come back to the team, he'll be ready. I guess when you talk about him on the floor, you could, he wasn't himself. So that's
Yeah,
the unfortunate thing. So we're just hoping everything for the best for Cody and his family right now.
absolutely. I was wondering what the discrepancy in cool bet odds are because it's obviously 1.5 everything, but Halifax favored by 1.5. The totals that you like the over of is at 24.5. Is that the same as for pretty much as you see it as well?
So it is a straight up pick 'em right now for Halifax and
Wow.
Saskatchewan, 110 on each side on the money line. And right now, it is -1.5 for Saskatchewan at +120. And the +1.5 for Halifax is -148. On game day, though, the good thing about at Coolbet is we do have some alternate lines. So you'll be able to adjust that. So say if you do think Halifax should be the favorite and you want to get them at -1.5 at a better number, you can do that as well.
And not to keep throwing numbers at people, Halifax is favored at -120, but like you said, the Rush are at -110 on this side as well. So it's not like it's that far away. All right.
Absolutely not.
Let's get to Calgary at Albany, as some of our friends were calling it last week on the broadcast. Albany. Dane Dobie and Curtis Dixon. Jesse King coming off a ballsy 10-point game. Tyler Pace, hey, he's back.
Yep.
Cam McLeod, hopefully is not sick anymore. That's not a joke, it's just true. Is that enough to cover 1.5 or even push the over 22.5? What is your betting angle in Albany?
No interest in betting an over in an Albany game. With the fact of the matter is that when you look at the way that Doug Jameson is playing right now, he's on another level. I like the way the defense has been playing as well. So it's a stay away for the over. -159 is the money line for Albany right now at Coolbet. -1.5 is -110. I'd be leaning Albany here. Don't get me wrong. What we saw from Calgary was impressive. I
Yeah,
think their offense is going to score a ton of goals. I know you were saying that you heard some rumblings that Cam McLeod was sick. Even if he's at full strength, I still think he's got a lot to learn becoming
right.
a legitimate starter in the NLL. And I think the defense looked a little bit better in that second half, but they still have some work to do. They're missing some really key pieces from that team. No Jeff Cornwall, no Zach Courier, no Shane Simpson. That defense looks a lot different. So for me, Albany looks great. I know they have that one loss to Saskatchewan, but if they score in overtime there, we're looking at a team that's 2-0 and picking up pretty much where they left off last year. So
True.
-159 is a bit juicy for me. So I'd say, I'm confident enough to take them -1.5, -110.
That didn't make my best bets, but I also Albany's defense combined. The rookie of the week was another Albany guy not named Dyson Williams. Like, what are we doing here?
Zach
This is
Mason, man.
insane.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Zach
this is
Mason.
insane.
He's
And
a
no
great.
offense to Zach Mason, by the way.
No, of course not. And I think if you talk to Dyson Williams, though, he'd probably say he's not playing the best that he can right now. He still has
Right.
5 points. He's still in second in rookie scoring. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see a big game out of Dyson Williams
Right.
here this weekend. I think he's gonna. It's not for a lack of effort. It's not for a lack of chances. The ball's just not really sinking for him right now. And he's a guy that once one or two go in, the confidence gets rolling, and I think he's really gonna have a big game. But Zach Masson, man, this kid is not even a kid. I know he's a rookie. He's an older rookie. He was playing professional hockey, finally came back to the game lacrosse, and what a nice find that was for Albany. Another
Wow.
gem on that back end. Everyone talks about the offense and Doug Jameson. What Glenn Clark and Clem Durazio, the defensive coordinator of this Albany team's done with that defense is mightily impressive.
Good friend of the show, Hunter Smith, said, because this is an interesting point. I brought this up because Calgary, they had a lot of face-offs won against no Jake Withers. And
Yeah.
I felt like in a game of that was such big runs for Calgary late, it would have been nice to have a Jake Withers probably. But I think Joe Nardella, if Calgary does go on a run, might be able to stop it. So that's a good point by Hunter Smith. So.
Yeah, no, Joe Nardella is one of the best in the biz. I mean, I think everyone looks at a guy like Jake Withers. He's number one. I put Nardella on number two. The thing with Nardella as well, like Jake Withers, is he can also play defense. He's not just a grocery stick in the middle of the bench, takes the face off and gets off. Like, this is a guy that logs some serious minutes. I'm a huge fan of Nardella's game.
Love it. Final game for us. So and this is our 6th different game today. Listen, one might expect a boring game between Toronto and Georgia. Not saying that will not happen, but I'm going to ask you, our betting guy, what's the angle if a person wants to make money off this thing, which also makes them want to watch?
Kind of contradictory, because I'm going to say under. And some people like defensive goaltending battles. Some people want to see a lot of goals. I think the play here right now, cool bet, it's minus 20, or sorry, under 22 at minus 116. So
Ooh.
I would probably 22 is pretty low, maybe 21 and a half. I'd play. To be honest, this Rock offense has just been putrid, to put it nicely.
Yeah.
Mark Matthews, just 3 assists. Corey Small, 1 assist. Dan Craig, 0 points. They have 1 goal from their lefties on O, and it's neither of those guys. It's their rookie, the big American. And I just look at this offense, and they just look completely out of sorts, especially with no Tom Schreiber. With that being said, they get a little bit of help back with Brad Cree. I think Nick Rose is going to have a chip on his shoulder to try to get back to form where he was. I thought in game 1 he was fine, honestly. I thought he played really well. He had 40 plus saves. I thought he was not the issue. It's been the injuries obviously playing a huge factor, but most of those injuries are on defense. Most of those injuries are on transition.
Yeah.
The offense has been struggling, and I don't see it changing overnight. And Brett Dobson, man, what a fourth quarter this guy had. What an overtime.
Agreed.
He was unbelievable. A little bit shaky in that first half, I won't lie. But he shut it down when it mattered the most, and I think he's going to use that momentum to come into this game. So I think we're in for a low-scoring duel down in Georgia.
Yeah, I was waiting for Brett Dobson's reigning 2-time PLL championships to kind of take over the NLL. It might do that this year. And it's incredible.
It is. It's remarkable. You know what is incredible is the fact that in field lacrosse, it's virtually a different position. There you go.
It is athleticism.
I love that little note there by that comment. Really,
it is 21 and a half for us too. Yeah.
There you go. So 22 and a half, 22. I'd play that. No doubt about that. So, but yeah, back to Dobson. He plays, field lacrosse goalie. Basically no equipment. You're making saves with your stick. So it does kind of take a little bit of time for that transition to go from field to box. It's a little challenging. We've seen it from Dylan Ward in years past. So I think it looks like Dobson's back in form already.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm expecting a really big year out of Dobson this year as well.
And not to keep harping on Dobson, but for this game's under purposes, even if it is 21 and a half, for me, it's like Dobson, I think that helps him with my biggest thing with him is consistency. If he puts together a year that he can, it's under every game for Georgia.
No doubt. And I know they've got a lot of great offensive pieces as well, but that defense.
Captain Clutch, Andrew Q.
Dude, the guy just wakes up in the morning, puts his pants on, and scores game winners. Like, that's all this guy does. It's remarkable.
I love it. Any other plays for you this weekend? I don't want to take anything away from OTCB, but yeah.
Of course not. Of course, we do have our OTCB parlay. I forget what it is. Go to CoolBet, check it out. It's also on our social media as well. Just looking at some of the player props for tonight's game. Right now, 7.5 is the total for Jeff Teat for points. Josh Byrne and Dane Smith are that as well. Minus 108 for Smith, 105 for Byrne, and minus 105 for Teat. I would take the over on all three of them. Jeff Teat averages 9 points a game against the Buffalo Bandits in his career.
I was gonna say that.
Dane Smith averages 10 points a game against New York. I know they're in Ottawa now, and I know they've got Zach Higgins. but Dane Smith was a former teammate of Zach Higgins. He knows Higgins quite well. So I think we're getting a pretty high scoring affair. We didn't talk about it, but right now Coolbet's got that total at 24. It's a high number, probably the highest total we've seen so far this year. Think about playing the over. I think we're going to see an all-out offensive showdown.
One last thing, and I hope my Wi-Fi's holding up here. Dane Smith goals this year. He already showed it in game 1. I think that shot's going to fall this year, and that's a dangerous thing for the NLL. So keep that in mind for your props.
No doubt, over 1.5 -139. That sounds like a damn good bet to me. Absolutely.
Love it. Pat, you're awesome. You know that. You love the tattoo, which makes you even more love on the show. What game are you calling this week, by the way?
I'm in Ottawa right now. Ottawa, Buffalo tonight. TSN, ESPN Plus, down south of the border. So make sure you tune in. It's going to be a great game. Buffalo has given a lot of flowers to Ottawa this week, saying that this is a team that they've had some problems with in the past. They're 3-2 against them, so obviously a winning record. But been last year they beat them. They took them to overtime the year before that, and like I said, Jeff Teat. There's not many players in this league that quote unquote have Matt Vince's number, but Jeff Teat is one of those guys. He's been able to solve the virtually unsolvable Matt Vince. Wow.
Thankfully, Bandit's defense seems to be locked in early, but we'll see.
Dialed, man. Dialed. Really, really dialed. But this offense has given them fits before. I think we're seeing a high-scoring game. And if we don't, I'll be happy because that means Vince and Higgins were holding down the fort.
And by the way, sneak peek for my best bets before I let you go here. You and Teddy both picked Vancouver, but for your sake, I hope you smoke Teddy this week after his 5-0 week. It's unfair. It's time for you to win a week.
I won week 1. I won week 1, but then he smoked me last week.
Is tough.
5-0. I'm down 1 right now. I'm down 1 on him, and unfortunately, we only have one differentiating game. So. And that's the last game of the week, Sask, Halifax. So that could be a huge swing game for us.
As long as you both lose Rochester, I'm fine.
Fine. I think we can sign off on that one for you.
Thank you, Pat, and enjoy the call tonight, and have a great weekend, man.
Thanks, boys. Thanks for having me. And I love the tattoo, but I'm not getting one anytime soon. I'm sorry.
Me neither. I keep saying it, producer Pat. Poutine Pat is awesome. All right, folks, when we come back, it's time to wrap God, I can't even talk today. Wrap it up with our pick'em, which also includes our best bets. Don't go anywhere. We're winning.
Don't go anywhere. Daily Dive will be right back.
Need tickets to that next event? Well, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got them with soccer anywhere in the world. Tickets to any venue, any sport. Want to go to NCAA or NFL football matches? We've got them.
Yeah.
Baseball at every level. Every Power 5 matchup is available. Don't forget, costumes and paint are optional. What's that? You want to go to Broadway? We have those too. Want to jam out? Every concert, every artist. That's right, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got the tickets for less. 12ozsports.com/tickets. That's 12ouncesports.com/tickets.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money. And we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
America, get back on track with Dust Pod's Performance Stabilizer. When applied to roadways, it kills dust and strengthens the integrity of the road. Easily applied by mixing with water. Dust Pods is the future. and polymer stabilization. Call 1-833-DustPods or visit dustpods.com today.
What up, everybody? It's producer Joe, the baddest daddy in producing history, here to tell you all about the baddest, daddiest merch store. Go to the link tree in the bios of either our IG or Twitter, and from there you can access merch for the only Monday through Friday live lacrosse talk show on the internet. I repeat, the only Monday through Friday live lacrosse talk show on the internet. We got hoodies for when your girl comes over and wants to cuddle. Just don't let her take it when she leaves. How about a baddest daddy cap for when you lie about how much you hate Mike in this show, but you're still here? We've got beanies so you can do that in the cold too. Guys, what's going to happen when all these moms see you dropping your kid off at practice in this thing? Want to sip like a daddy and feel like a baddie? Check out that mug. 6-time NLL champ Johnny T and savior of my Buffalo sports childhood knows what I'm talking about. Guys, I'm really going to need you to start buying shit because I'm getting sick of doing Instacart. But yeah, go check it out so you can start repping and supporting the brand. Producer Daddy out.
Daily Dive is back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
When today's show ends and you are getting your tickets for the next game, buy them for less at tickets.12onsports.com. That's tickets.numbers12lettersos sports.com. You will not regret seeing things live, knowing you got your tickets for a great price. And now it is time to get into our pick'em for week number 3. And I'm so excited because there's 7 games to get into. Unlike Pat and Teddy, we've got 2 different games that we've picked. So we're both 7-3, myself and producer Joe. We've both got Buffalo, Rochester, Philly, Albany, and Georgia. Our 2 differences: I've got the Seals to keep on to look good against the Mammoth, I'll say. I feel like the Chris Orglieri will have a good game, and I feel like it will be a very close game, maybe even a 1-score game. I think San Diego takes the cake in that one. Saskatchewan, I do think, is a better team than the Halifax Thunderbirds, and I think that'll show itself in their game Sunday night at 8 o'clock Eastern. And, of course, the Rochester game. I know we both have Rochester, but Teddy and Pat, I'm sorry. Rochester's better than Vancouver. Now it's time for our best bets. I'm 3-2. Producer Joe is 2-2. I've got the Bandits, or as producer Joe calls them, the boys, money line against Ottawa. I was almost going to go with the cover, but I'll respect Zach Higgins. Rochester Nighthawks to cover against Las Vegas. Georgia Swarm money line against the Toronto Rock. Producer Joe also does 3 bets. Colorado San Diego over 22.5 tonight. Philadelphia money line against Las Vegas. And Firewolves 1.5 to cover against Calgary. I also agree with those. The over 22.5 scares me for the first pick for him, but I do pretty much like those bets as well. And I'm just going to try to parlay those on DraftKings. I want to see what you would get for all of those at one time if you just take all of our picks. So we've got, let's see here, Bandits money line. Just for you guys real quick. Bandits money line. We've got Nighthawks to cover. We've got Swarm money line. We've got the Wings money line. I'll add the Colorado and the San Diego over. And I'll also do the Firewolves to cover. And that gives you a plus 38.04 or 10 wins 390 on 6 legs. So just in case you're wondering, but we're not betting experts, even though we do love the sport and know the sport. Alrighty, that's it for today's show, which means it has been another awesome week of Season 3. Without further ado, we want to thank the commenters once again for joining the show, being a part of the conversation. Reminder, everyone who watched today's show, you're the bread, you're the butter, you're the, is that a tattoo? To my producer, Joe. For everyone that comes on the show as a guest before, today's guests, Pat and Adam, and those to come, like some big ones next week, thank you for coming on this show, sharing your audience with us, giving us validity and relevance. For the baddest daddy in producing history, producer Joe, I am your host, Mike, saying have a great rest of your weekend. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday to talk about all of it. Same time, same place, 12 on Sports. This has been Daily Dive. All we do is win.
To win so much, you may even get tired of winning, and you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
Thanks for watching Daily Dive. See you next time.